Hey everybody, it is Yishan here, and today I am coming to you guys with some Edison content. I've really been getting into Edison, and I think as much as maybe my old subscribers want to see Gwen module content, I just don't really think there's a place for it in the modern game right now. So I really have basically been playing mostly Edison for the last couple months now, and I've really been getting into the format. And I went to YCS Las Vegas this past weekend, and I didn't play in the 3v3 unfortunately because it was really hard to find GOAT and Tengu players, but I did play in two Edison pods. I won actually both of them, so it's a very good weekend for me. And I played Machina Gadget in one and Hero Beat in the other, so I'm going to be doing two deck profiles. So yeah, this has been sort of, my return a little bit to some content creation. We'll see how it goes. I don't know, maybe I do want to post out some more Edison content. I feel like there's certainly a lack of representation of Edison content, especially in the Northern California area especially. So yeah, but anyway, these are just some of the decks I played when I was like a young kid. So they're very nostalgic, and Machina Gadget was one of them. So I figured, why not? I got, I went 3-0. I guess matchups, I played against Blackwing round one, and my opponent actually showed up late. They do a pretty poor job of announcing these side events, so I feel bad for my opponent, and I actually lost game one, which was game two, and then I won game three. And then games two, I played against a sort of a Lights One Relinquished deck, and that was a really, really close match, but I barely eked it out. And then game three, I played against another Blackwing. So Blackwing was everywhere in these side events, and I barely eked out the first game, and then just drew completely broken second game. So yeah, that's that. I think there's not too many like Machina Gadget deck profiles on the internet. And so one of the big ones that really inspired me to take this deck was the RBET like was it top 8 or top 16? I cannot remember. I'm sorry, I should have looked up the name before this video. I'll probably flash it on the screen right now. Whose tech choices and just proving that it could compete made me want to play it too. And so yeah, I think there's a lack of good content for it on the internet, and so I'm just throwing my hat in the ring, so to speak. So let's just get started with the deck profile. I've already wasted enough time on introductions, but it's pretty straightforward. I played 3 green gadget, 3 red gadget, and 3 yellow gadget. Now this is just you kind of have to play all 3. I really don't think there is much of a choice there. Okay, well, apologies for the slight glare, but yeah, just got to play all 9 gadgets. This is pretty much the way to go. I don't think you just need gadgets to summon your fortress, so it's okay to draw 2 of them, basically. The deck needs the fuel. So there you go. You play 3 gear frame, 3 fortress, 1 force. So this is pretty stock standard. I think 1 force is the way to go, so to speak. You don't really need it, but sometimes you just need something to search off. I mean, well, you do need it, but you just need sometimes you just need something to search off the gear frame, and it's like a 1 card fortress. So I think this was fine. This is a pretty standard Machina ratio. And then I guess the only slightly different thing is I just maxed out on the good machines. Again, the list that topped RBT played Card Trooper on the side. I started siding it, and then I was like, why am I not maining this card? Sometimes if you want to turn on your Solidarity fast and your opponent has a slow start, this is great. It's also just a good machine monster, and it draws you cards. So yeah, it's quite strong. If you mill a fortress, then I guess that's nice, because then a force, you can just search force with gear frame. So there's, it's like a solid card. It's very good in some matchups. I mean, you can side it out if you think it's horrible, but the card seems so strong. So it was just a great tech. I just playing all the good machines that I can. And then 3 smashing, I think this is pretty stock standard. Your gadget deck needs some generic removal. And then of course, the second best card in the deck, Solidarity. This card is just totally insane, and I mean it's just unbelievable. If your opponent doesn't have a removal for it, your chance of winning just goes like through the roof. So it's an incredible card. Pretty much the only reason to play the deck. Honestly, it's really Solidarity gadgets. It's incredible. So broken, this card. And then the most broken card is limiter removal. Against my finals opponent, I literally opened Heavy Storm limiter, 2 fortresses and a gear frame. I mean, that's just, you know, like, yeah, that's just game. So there's that. And then Heavy Storm, incredible in this deck because you need to push your plays through sometimes. And then MST because it's MST. So yeah, this deck doesn't really like back row that much. And then one different thing from the list that topped RBG, I just maxed out on all the traps basically that were like standard, like 3D prison 2 bottomless. I just think it's a gadget deck. It works out well. I know I still play Torrential, Mirror Force, Dust Shoot Solemn. I think these are all pretty good in the gadget deck. And then the one thing I also took from that list was the 1 Royal Oppression. I actually quite liked this tech. Just 1, I think it's very solid, and I actually might sort of implement this in my other decks where like 1 is pretty good. I quite liked it actually, and I didn't play against that many frogs and stuff, so maybe, you know, like it would have been even better, but I quite liked it at 1. And then the only 2 cards I didn't like, I mean, these were fine, but Compulse and Starlight Road, I was definitely planning on siding the Starlight Road, but I could not find Horn of Heaven until later, after the Wintermat event. I mean, this card was impossible to find at the event, so I would definitely play those 2 over these 2. I would just side these 2. I never liked the tension between Starlight Road and Royal Oppression, and I think Starlight Road in this deck is just maybe a better side card because you're not setting too much back row. And yeah, so that's kind of my opinion. It also turns off your Solidarity if you summon the Stardust Dragon. So yeah, I would just rather cut these 2 to play these 2. When I was testing online, I really liked Horn of Heaven. That was actually one of the main reasons to play the deck because I thought Horn of Heaven was just complete gas. Okay, side deck, we have 3 Dust Tornado. I think this is very, very good. Again, this deck doesn't really like back row. You just want to clear it sometimes and then bash in with your beaters. So this is incredible. And then I was just on 2 Pulling the Rug. Never really got a chance to play it because it was, you know, Black Wings all day. 2 Imperial Hour Walls, kind of same deal. This is more for other stuff. 2 Mask of Restrict, same for the Forgs. And then stuff I would, you know, I really like the 1 Lightning Vortex. I think it's a solid side deck choice. I thought the 1 Fissure was fine as well. This is another copy from the topping list. And then these were the last 4 cards I played in my set deck. I played 2 Noblemen, 1 Compulse, 1 Pot of Avarice. Again, like the Starlight Road was supposed to be in the side. An extra Compulse was supposed to be in the side. I don't think you need to play 2 Noblemen. You could just play 1. My idea behind Pot of Avarice was for the grind games, like the grindy games, you could play this, but I don't really think it's necessary. I think in the future, there's like a lot of things you could do, but I would probably put an Oppression and a Starlight Road in the side deck, and then maybe 1 more Compulse just to help with the Gigavice matchups or something else. But there are certainly many options you could go with. But I do think I want to find room for a second Oppression, because why not? And yeah, that was side deck. Really, the extra deck, you only need a couple cards. You just need 3 of this and Stardust Dragon. I wasn't playing Creature Swap, so there's really no need for any of the tuners. I just not really a big believer in Creature Swap, to be honest, though I don't really think it's a bad card. I just think it doesn't do enough, or it's just it's too like it's too bad sometimes. So but I can understand, like I think 1 is fine, like you want to play 1, but I'd rather just play more machines like Card Trooper in the main. And yeah, that was pretty much it. So that's the deck profile. I hope there are some other Machina Gadget enjoyers out there, because this deck is like, it's actually quite like fun and easy. I think it's a great beginner deck. Like, you know, it's not too tricky to master. There's no real combos. The only thing that you really need to think about is what to summon and how to use your trap cards and spell cards, and then maybe some sequencing stuff. So it's a good deck for new Edison players to learn, and I think it's probably a little underrated. It does get cooked by Cyber Dragon, like all machine decks, but well, especially this one though. But Horn of Heaven helps with that, so I would definitely play 2 of this in the main deck. I just think this card is really cool. So yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy some more Edison content. I got this nice Tengu mat for winning the pod, so you know, it's a little strange that they give Tengu for Edison pods, but you know, so be it. I think maybe this will inspire me to play Tengu format. I don't know. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you get a chance to try out this deck for yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.